It's quite a feeling when you put a game plan together and you come in after a specific buck, even with a rifle, on the second day and end up harvesting that deer. He's definitely the buck I was after. This is the deer I come in here for this morning, so that's a cool thing.
Well, it's opening afternoon here of the 2020 gun season. This morning didn't pan out real well for me. Just seen some small deer. Dad shot about a 9-pointer, probably gonna shove 150. A nice deer, good tine length, decent width, heavy mass at the bases, good brow tine, so it's a nice deer. We might be able to throw that on video here later. He did use the Tacticam on his gun. We'll see what he's got on video. He's fairly new to this, but he's making an attempt to try, so we'll see what we can do with it. But the deer really seem to be hanging around this corn during bow season. So what I'm hoping to do today is catch them moving up through this wooded draw. They really bed real heavily down and below me. This is an area we generally don't push real hard. Holds a lot of deer. And holds a lot of big deer, so we're gonna sit here this evening and see if we can get something moving through this corn, in and out of the corn, and out of the woods. It's a good transition area till it's dark. I did bump a couple does. Looked like both fawns on the way in. So they made a little noise, but luckily went straight east instead of down. So down to the south below me into the ravine here. So keep our fingers crossed. There's a couple real big bucks in here. There's a big 10 that's probably gonna shove 170. And there's a big 8 with a split G2 on his right side. And we're gonna see if we can get one of these bucks to move around in here tonight. So stick with us. Night number 1, 2020, Wisconsin gun season. Something got them up on their feet here. Got 2 bucks coming out. Spike and then a four-corn of some kind.
So we picked back up on the morning of Sunday, November 22nd. That evening before, I was sitting on a food source hoping this buck was going to come out. Seen a few small bucks, as you've seen. Had the neighbors running around all night on four-wheelers and trucks. I was really worried that this buck was maybe gone for good for the year. But, fortunately, I kept to my plan. I got back into his bedroom the next morning. Went in where I seen him with a bow the week before in a heavy downpour. I knew he was in that area, living in there. I just had hoped that he hadn't got ran out of there yet. So I get back in there that morning. Right away, the four-wheelers, the trucks, I can hear them running. I can hear some talking. I'm about 300 yards off the fence line. And, mid-morning, some deer start moving, showing up. And then lo and behold, about 10:30, quarter to 11, I turn around and I see the buck in the corn behind me. Unfortunately, I had to use the Tacticam. The footage is decent. You know, I got the shot on camera, but there's just no physical way to get the camera swung around this tree and get a shot, self-filming it all by myself. So we made best of what we had to deal with, and I hope you enjoy the hunt here coming up. The one thing I wanted to say is when you see in the beginning, we called the buck white chocolate. It was kind of a neat thing. This buck, like I said, had showed up just a week before. Usually when we get a buck that we're hunting a specific target, we can give him a name. And I was sitting there that morning and got thinking, you know, we haven't even gave this buck a name yet, and I'm eating a white chocolate Twix bar. So I kind of went with the idea, if I kill this deer this morning, I'm going to name him White Chocolate, and half hour later I watched the deer tip over in the ditch. So I hope you enjoy.
It's cold out. I didn't quite dress. I got my Bolin clothing on, but I just shot a buck in the corn. I heard noise and I looked behind me. And it was definitely the 8-point with the split G2 on his right side, but it looked good walking away from me, which they always do, and I was almost positive it was him, so I shot him. He went down the woods. And he didn't look like the same deer that I've been watching out here. So I'm not sure if there's two of them in here. I might have made a mistake here, but I'm gonna get down and go take a look at them. I guess either way, Well, it's always a good thing when you get down and you get a deer you're after. And I was really worried it wasn't the buck I thought he was, but when he walked back to corn row I seen this, and he's definitely the buck I was after. This is the deer I come in here for this morning, so that's a cool thing. A week ago last night I seen him out with a doe, and definitely had a split right G2. Knew he had a good frame and good brows, and I got a buck at home that's an 8 that goes 160. I told my dad, I said, he's not that good, but frame wise he's similar, but got better brow tines and better threes. Been a few years since I shot a buck with a rifle, and this is at least a 3-year-old, maybe a 4-year-old based on his bases here. Just a awesome hunt. I hope I got the shots on video. I hit him the first shot, and that makes sense because he went up in the corner and stood there kind of humped up. I hit him quartered away hard, and it went in, and I winged one at him down here in the ditch when I seen him going down. But hit him pretty hard the first shot right here going up in. I'm sure he would have tipped over in the corn if I'd left him, but obviously, as I've documented on here, we're really close to the neighbor's fence line, and I just didn't want him getting, 400 yards down the fence line further. He's on the neighbor's, but I'm tickled. I still have my bow tag. So I can do some late season bow hunting, but it's quite a feeling when you put a game plan together and you come in after a specific buck, even with a rifle, on the second day, and end up harvesting that deer. And to me, that's what hunting's about. Anyone can wander out in the woods and shoot a good deer, and if that's what you're into, that's cool. I really get into targeting specific deer. If a good one walks in that I'm not targeting, obviously I'll shoot it, but self-videoed the whole thing. I hope I got the Tacticam. Had it on when I shot. Probably isn't the best footage, but when you got deer walking in behind you at 40 yards in the corn and didn't expect them to be there, you do what you got to do. And the Tacticam was my only option to get this buck on video. There's no way to swing the camera around and do it. So anyhow, we're gonna pack up and we'll go get Dad. Hill Road's about 20 yards above me from the neighboring property that we lease also. So I'm a happy man.